Was waren die Besonderheiten der kommunistischen Diktatur in Albanien?
Die Besonderheiten des albanischen Systems liegen sicher in der Geschichte des Widerstandes gegen den Faschismus. Das ist was Besonderes, was sich auch für Jugoslawien zutrifft, dass der albanische Kommunismus mit einer nationalen Befreiungsbewegung zu tun hat und dem Kampf gegen den Faschismus. Das ist, glaube ich, die Besonderheit. Hat weniger etwas mit den sozialistischen Verheißungen des 20. Jahrhunderts zu tun, als damit. Also eine Verbindung aus Modernisierung in einem Agrarland und antifaschistischem Widerstand gegen fremde Besatzer und hier vor allem die Italiener.
Hatte es vor 1945 eine kommunistische Bewegung in Albanien gegeben?
Na, wie in all den Ländern, in denen der Kommunismus erfolgreich war, kann man sagen, gab es keine Arbeiterbewegung. Gab es eigentlich keine Tradition wie in Deutschland, in Frankreich, in Großbritannien, wo ja die kommunistischen Bewegungen aus den Arbeiterbewegungen und sozialistischen Parteien hervorgegangen sind, in Italien ja auch. Das gab es nicht. Insofern haben sich hier diese kommunistischen Vorstellungen mit Vorstellungen des Agrarsozialismus und der nationalen Mobilisierung verbunden. Das ist das Besondere. Und man kann es eher vergleichen oder in Bezug setzen zu den Kommunisten in der Sowjetunion und in China. Und das ist ja kein Zufall, dass es da eine Affinität auch zwischen diesen Regimen am Ende gab.
Wie lässt sich die besondere Brutalität der kommunistischen Herrschaft in Albanien erklären?
Ich glaube, dass die Brutalität erstens mit der Isolation zu tun hat, zweitens mit dem Kampf gegen die sogenannte Rückständigkeit und gegen die Religion. Also der Kommunismus und sein Modernisierungsversprechen war in Ländern wie Albanien mit einer so tristen Realität verbunden, in der Wahrnehmung der Kommunisten, dass hier ein großes Erziehungs- und Umerziehungsprogramm auf der Tagesordnung stand. Das unterscheidet diese Regime, ich würde sie Modernisierungsregime in Agrargesellschaften nennen, von westlich orientierten Industriegesellschaften, in denen man sowas gar nicht brauchte. Also im Grunde waren das Umerziehungs- und Disziplinierungsprojekte für rückständige Agrargesellschaften. Und das erklärt, warum die Gewalt in Kambodscha, in China, in der stalinistischen Sowjetunion und in Albanien so exorbitant war, im Unterschied etwa zur Tschechoslowakei oder zur DDR.
Wer war Enver Hoxha?
Naja, wie in all diesen Ländern waren diese Intellektuellen, die ja meist selber oft aus bäuerlichem Milieu kamen, die waren zunächst isoliert. Aber die Isolation half ihnen auch, sich abzukapseln und einen Führerkult um sich herum aufzubauen, den es in Regionen gar nicht gab, in denen Intellektuelle gewissermaßen integriert waren in ihre Gesellschaft. Man kann sagen, dass der Führerkult und die Segregation dieser kommunistischen Führer mit dem kulturellen Milieu zu tun hat, aus dem sie kommen. Das gilt für Mao, das gilt für Pol Pot, das gilt für Stalin und all diese ganz bestimmten Führer. Dann kommt hinzu, dass das Klientelgesellschaften waren. Die waren nicht strukturiert durch Bürokratien, Parteien, moderne Staatsapparate, sondern durch Familien, durch Clans. Und dadurch, dass das Klientelsysteme waren, kam den Führern eine ganz andere Bedeutung zu. Und so ist es hier im Grunde auch. Man kann nicht sagen, dass Albanien jetzt etwas Besonderes wäre. Guckt sich jeden beliebigen afrikanischen Staat an, der nicht unbedingt kommunistisch war, und man findet ähnliche Elemente, wenn man an Idi Amin denkt oder Mobutu oder andere Herrscher. Ich glaube, das hat mit der Personalisierung von Herrschaft zu tun, dass Personen dann auch wichtig sind.
Wieso vollzogen die albanischen Kommunisten die Entstalinisierung nicht nach?
Für Länder wie Albanien, die noch rückständige Agrarstaaten waren, war das extrem gefährlich, in einer solchen klientelistischen Umgebung die Zügel locker zu lassen und zu sagen, wir machen jetzt auch Entstalinisierung. Deshalb haben sozusagen Regime wie die auch in Rumänien, ne, Ceausescu und andere Despoten, die haben erkannt, was sie aufs Spiel setzen, wenn sie die Zügel lockern. Und natürlich haben sie gesehen, was in der Sowjetunion dann passierte, als die Zügel gelockert wurden. Der Aufstand in Ungarn 1956, die Arbeiterunruhen in Polen. Und die haben natürlich genau gesehen, dass sie das nicht würden kontrollieren können, wenn sie das auch bei sich zu Hause hätten. Im Grunde war das eine interne Entscheidung, daran festzuhalten. Das Gleiche gilt ja auch für Mao, der Khrushchev vorgeworfen hat, sein eigenes Regime zu destabilisieren. Und das ist der Hintergrund gewesen, warum diese Führer sich der Entstalinisierung nicht anschließen wollten.
Wie kam es zum Bündnis Albaniens mit China?
Man muss ja sehen, durch die geografische Lage war Albanien vollständig isoliert. Im Süden der NATO-Staat Griechenland, späterer NATO-Staat Griechenland, gehörte zum westlichen Bündnis. Im Norden und im Osten Jugoslawien, einen blockfreien Staat, der auf große Distanz zur Sowjetunion gegangen war. Und Albanien hatte auch zur Sowjetunion, selbst wenn man das mitgemacht hätte, das Entstalinisierungsprojekt, ja keinen direkten Zugang. Faktisch war Albanien isoliert und wie in all diesen geografisch isolierten Staaten versuchten die Führer, innere Kohäsion herzustellen, indem sie ständig vom Imperialismus und von außerlicher Bedrohung sprachen. Und China war faktisch das einzige Land im kommunistischen Block, das gegen die Entstalinisierung war. Und deshalb war China der natürliche Verbündete für Albanien. Andere Verbündete ergaben sich faktisch für Albanien überhaupt nicht.
Auf welche Weise wurde Albanien von China unterstützt?
Ja, natürlich gab es Unterstützung, aber China war selber ein Entwicklungsland. Es gab natürlich militärische Unterstützung, es gab Berater aus China, die auch nach Albanien kamen, aber großen Gewinn hatte Albanien davon eigentlich nicht. China hatte in den 70er Jahren nicht die Möglichkeiten, die es heute hatte.
Director Pjerin Mirdita introduces himself and his memorial.
First of all, thanks for coming. It's a pleasure for us to have you here in our place, in our memorial. My name is Pjerin Mirdita, and I'm the director of the Site of Witness and Memory. I work in this place from 2015, and I'm a historian by profession, and also I teach history in one of the private gymnasiums, Catholic gymnasiums, which we have here in our town, Schwerpunkt. And I'm concentrated also in various activities, in various projects, which we done always with in the field of memory. And for us it's important because we can have the possibility to tell our story, one maybe of the worst periods which we had in our country, but which is necessary to tell, especially to youngsters. And the memorial was opened, as I told, in 2015 in an authentic area of repression, of persecution, because the place was the main prison of the city of Schwerpunkt, which was erected by the communists in 1946 and was used by them till the end of the dictatorship.
Tell us more about the city of Schwerpunkt.
Yeah, the city of Schwerpunkt is a nice and very beautiful city of our country. Is in the north, in the northwest North Albania. Is the I can say the most important center of culture, tradition, etc. in Albania, because our city have a history about more than 2,000 years, and it was the capital city of the Illyrian kingdom, and it was always in the middle of the ways which connect the old region of the Balkans. During the medieval time, it was an important center for the Adriatic Sea, because the city was led by the Venetians, and the city was also an important center for the trademarks with all the region. During the Ottoman Empire, also Schwerpunkt had an importance relevation for our country, because it was a center of the administrative Ottoman, one of the administrative Ottoman empire. And after the independence of the country, Schwerpunkt had always an important role for the politics and for all the daily life of the Albanians. Also, the city is in the middle of a beautiful landscape, because we are surrounded by waters and mountains, and so in 100 kilometers you can move from the seaside to the high peaks of our beautiful Alps. So if somebody planned to come in Albania, Shkodër will welcome you.
What was Shkodër's situation like during the communist dictatorship?
The city of Shkodër was the most persecuted city during that period, and it was said by people which suffered during the time, but also it was said by the numbers. And the numbers sometimes in history are important to show us the perspective how Shkodër was, for example, suffering during that period. The city in the first years of the communist dictatorship had more than 25 prisons in the middle of the city, which were erected by the communists to keep local people in, because we have also during 1945 and 1946 two revolts, which were armed revolts against the communists, and so the number of the prisoners was very high. And this also show how the city and how the people of Shkodër resists against the communist dictatorship. Also, during the time we had, as we said, a lot of persecuted people, political prisoners, but also shot people which were condemned by courts and shot by firing squads. For sure, the Catholic community in the northern region of Albania, especially in Shkodër, was the most persecuted community, because we had more than 70 Catholic priests which were killed, and also a lot of places which were destroyed during the time. And also we have to say that a lot of properties were confiscated by the state, and which still today are a lot of problems to give them back to their legal owners.
What is there to say about the prison?
Okay, the prison, which we are actually in the memorial, was an authentic area of Shkodër, because it was erected first in 1850 as a private property for one of the biggest families, wealthy families of Shkodër, and the place as a house was changed different functions during the years. Later it was an schulbruder, which was used for small kids which stays here, studying the Franciscan school near here, the place. And then it was a civil hospital from 1920 till 1928, and from 1930 the property was bought by the Franciscan province, and it was opened as a college when the parish priest studies here to become then one of the best orders of priests which we had in Albania. The Franciscans were also involved in our tradition, in our culture, in our history, and a lot of Franciscans were one of the best figures which we had during the time. The place was confiscated by the state, communist state, in 1946. And was transformed into a pre-trial prison. So all the political prisoners which were arrested came first here, and from here then, when they get condemned by a court, they moved to the labor camps which were spread in all the territory of Albania. For sure, the place works for the entire period of the dictatorship. The state used it also after the communist dictatorship till 1997 as a police station. Just from 1949, the state given back the property to the Franciscans, and from 2005, in the same place when it was the headquarters of the secret state police, today we have a monastery of 7 Clarissa nuns which lives there inside, and they were able to keep and to preserve all this place until 2015, when, in accord with the municipality of Shkodër, the Franciscan province of Albania, we have this memorial.
What were the conditions of detention?
And the conditions of the prisoners were maybe the worst conditions which you can imagine, because we knew that people stay here inside without nothing. There was just a small hall, a small room from 2 meters to 1.5 meters, and this room was the entire world for a political prisoner during the time. There were just 2 toilets in the prison, and the prisoners were able to to go there just one time a day for 2 minutes, and for sure to eat there was the possibility for them just buy the food which was brought by their families outside. So the conditions were very bad, and maybe the conditions were better when they go to the labor camps than they were staying here.
Have prison conditions improved at some point?
The cruelty in the prisons was the same until the 90s, until the last days of the communist regime, because the psychological torture and physical torture was used from the entire period. For sure, it was harder in the first years of the communist regime, but we have different testimonies, of course, of people which were involved in the first revolts in the 90s, and when they were arrested by the secret state police, also they were tortured. Maybe they passed more than 45 years, but the way how to deal and how to treat the prisoners was the same.
Who has been in this prison over the time?
The prison was in charge from the entire period, from 1946 to the 90s. Actually, we don't have a real number of prisoners which passed here, but we knew that maybe here in 50 years, maybe they went here inside more than 30,000 to from 25 to 30,000 people. Maybe someone for 1 or 2 days, but we have to count them also as prisoners. And for sure there were a lot of notable people of Shkodra which passed here through this prison: intellectuals, clergy people, nuns, professors. It depends on what, because they were for sure the most dangerous enemies for the communist administration. We have, for example, the case of Father Zevplumi, which was an Franciscan father, and he spent 25 years in labor camps. He was released from prison in 1989, but we have a great testimony from him because he wrote a book, a memoiristic book, Live to Tell, which he described and tell everything about the communist time from the first day till the last day, how he remembered. Also, we had, for example, the Cardinal Ernest Roshani, which is the only cardinal still alive and is the only priest still alive from the time. He's 95 years old, and he was blessed, became a cardinal from Pope Francis in 2000 and 2016. And also there are a lot of people of Shkodra who, as I told you, which really suffered here inside for their political thoughts, for their ideas, and for their what they do against the communist regime.
Who visits the memorial?
First of all, by tourists. And we are glad we can tell our story to people which came from all over the world, and this is important for us. But I mean, and I guess for us it's important to tell the story to our students, to our youngsters, to know about Albania, about the place, about the historical period, what was happening in their country, what was happening maybe to their parents, to their grandfathers, grandmothers. And for us in Shkodra especially, is a question of identity, because every one of us can find someone which was passing through here inside that place. And the number of the visitors is growing up every year, for sure, of tourists which came from all over the world, also from the schools. And for us, this is the most important thing.
Who finances the memorial, and how should the memorial develop in the coming years?
The place is financed by the municipality of Shkodër yearly, and we have a budget which is given to the place by the municipality. Also, we have different collaborators with Konrad Adenauer Stiftung or Institute for Democracy, Media and Culture, which invest and support us in different projects. And also, it's important to say that the property is still a private property because it belongs to the Catholic Church to the Catholic Church. And what we need in the future, we need as much as more support by local people, because this place is a place which belongs to everybody here in Shkodër, and everybody can support it in their different ways, with an objects, with a material, with a document, with whatever. But this is for us the main issue. For sure, as it happens everywhere, we need support. We need support by the state institution and by politics, but I guess in the next future we will have a new project about the place, and we will have some work to do on that.